New York Yankees shortstop Tyler Wade and first baseman Luke Voit high-five as they work out at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Klement, USA Today Sports. Luke Voit and Tyler Wade combined to go 5 for 6 with 5 RBIs as the Yankees beat the Tampa Bay Rays on Sunday at Charlotte Sports Park. Things to know about Sunday's Game 1. Voit hit an RBI single in the first inning and a 3-run homer in the fourth that gave New York a 6-0 lead. Wade went 3 for 3 with 2 doubles. 2. Jonathan Loaisiga threw 2 hitless innings, while David Hale struck out 3 batters in 2 scoreless innings. 3. DJ LeMahieu singled for his first hit of spring training and Matt Lipka went 1 for 2 with a 2-run home run for the Yankees, who are now 1-1 in Grapefruit League play. 4. Tyler Glasnow allowed 2 runs and 3 hits in 1 2/3 innings for the Rays. Highlights: Luke is still launching baseballs in 2019. pic.twitter.com/RHK6PK3ZL, New York Yankees, @Yankees, February 24, 2019 First hit of the spring for a DJ LeMahieu. pic.twitter.com/HOBenilk19E, New York Yankees, @Yankees, February 24, 2019 What's next? The Yankees host the Toronto Blue Jays on Monday at 1:05 p.m. at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Danny Abriano, SNY.TV, Twitter. Some of the best movies ever, including some of the best sports movies ever, have been filmed in and/or take place in New York. Here's our ranking of the 10 best. 10. Above the Rim, 1994, New York Yankees left fielder Clint Frazier, 77, prepares for batting practice prior. Douglas DeFellis, the Yankees, 0-1, travel to Port Charlotte to face the Rays, 0-2, on Sunday at 1:05 p.m. Yankees notes. The Yankees are pushing the limits of the visiting teams must send 3 starting players rule by basically sending 1. Luke Voit. Also of note is prospect Esteban Florial, whose stock has fallen recently, getting the start in center field. Click here to follow VASNY Game Day February 21, 2019, Tampa, Florida, USA. New York Yankees relief pitcher Adam Ottavino, 0, poses for a photo on photo day at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Mandatory credit: Kim Klement, USA Today Sports. Kim Klement, John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa, Florida. Nobody has created more buzz early in Yankees camp than Adam Ottavino. Aaron Judge singled him out as the one free agent he was most pumped to see his team sign. Hitters whiffing against him in a simulated game a few days ago spoke as if they'd never seen a nastier slider. And manager Aaron Boone only half-kiddingly said hitters are sometimes more relieved to be done with an at-bat against Ottavino than ticked off after a strikeout because his slider is such a wicked pitch. February 23, 2019, Fort Myers, FL, USA. New York Yankees second baseman Gleyber Torres, 25, reacts after hitting a solo home run during the first inning against the Boston Red Sox at JetBlue Park. Mandatory credit: Douglas DeFellis, USA Today Sports. Douglas DeFellis, the Yankees jumped off to a hot start in their first spring training game of the 2019 season, but the defending World Series champion Red Sox took home the win on their home field, 8-5. Greater than box score. Things to know about today's game. 1. Gleyber Torres opened up his sophomore campaign with a bomb over the center field wall for a solo homer. He finished the day 1 for 2. Clint Frazier, 77, mandatory credit: Kim Klement, USA Today Sports. Kim Klement. Baseball is back as the Yankees kick off their 2019 spring training schedule with a road matchup against the reigning World Series champion Red Sox at 1:05 p.m. JetBlue Park. Yankees notes: Aaron Hicks, Clint Frazier, Gleyber Torres, Miguel Andujar and Greg Bird are among the notable Yankees that are making the trip to Fort Myers for the first spring training game this season. Click here to follow VASNY Game Day. BNNY discusses Bryce Harper saga. 0 hours 3 minutes and 9 seconds. The crew on BNNY offer their opinions on where Bryce Harper will eventually sign. Manny Machado is officially a Padre, but Bryce Harper remains a free agent heading into the start of spring training games this weekend. What's stopping a Harper-Phillies union? Can the Nationals be counted out? Would he like to be out west? The Baseball Night in New York crew discusses where Harper will end up signing. BNNY talks utility guys 0 hours 2 minutes and 52 seconds. The BNNY crew debate who signed the best utility player available this offseason following the Twins' Friday signing of Marvin Gonzalez to a 2-year, $21 million contract. Which team had the best utility signing ahead of the 2019 season? The Twins, the Yankees, who signed DJ LeMahieu to a 2-year, $24 million deal, the Mets, who signed Jed Lowry to a 2-year, $20 million deal. The Baseball Night in New York crew discusses which player is the best bet. February 22, 2019, Tampa, Florida, USA. New York Yankees first baseman Greg Bird, 33, talks with third baseman Miguel Andujar, 41, works out at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Mandatory credit, Klement, USA Today Sports. Klement, if Yankees fans are frustrated with the odyssey of Greg Bird from potential cornerstone to a guy who can't hit or stay healthy, just imagine how the man himself feels. Bird was as downcast as anyone about his 2018 season, the one which started 2 months late because of yet another surgery, this one on his right ankle, and ended with him losing his job to Luke Voit and hitting .199 in 272 at-bats. Bird sought his own fortress of solitude, buying a boat in November and renting a house in the Florida Keys for 2 weeks, according to The Athletic. It was there where Bird hoped to find it within himself to leave his 2018 season, and the shoulder and foot surgeries from previous years, behind him. February 22, 2019, Tampa, Florida, USA. New York Yankees second baseman DJ LeMahieu, 26, works out at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Mandatory credit, Klement, USA Today Sports. Klement, Tampa. As the game of baseball has changed, so too have the majority of hitters. With the Mets in 2015, Daniel Murphy became the poster child for a growing group who decided to try to lift the ball in an effort to hit more home runs, changing the approach that had gotten them to the big leagues in the first place. Murphy, baseball's king of contact, transformed right as front offices began to value power more than ever. Now, as teams begin to realize their roster construction might skew a little too far towards all-or-nothing hitters, the man Murphy has replaced in Colorado might be happy he's stayed the same. February 14, 2019, Tampa, Florida, USA. New York Yankees general manager Brian Cashman during spring training at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Mandatory credit, Klement, USA Today Sports. Klement, John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa, Florida. So why didn't the Yankees sign Manny Machado? On Friday, GM Brian Cashman answered that question in detail for the first time, speaking for some 30 minutes to reporters on the field here during the workout at about the same time Machado was being introduced in San Diego. Through all the verbiage, he made perhaps 3 most significant points. New York Yankees pitcher CC Sabathia throws the ball during workouts one day before the 2018 American League wildcard game at Yankee Stadium. Danielle Parhaskaran /NorthJersey.com via USA Today Sports. The stagnant pace of free agency has sparked talks of a looming labor strike in MLB, and some of the Yankees are taking notice. CC Sabathia, who said on his podcast last month that it was effing nuts so many free agents were still unsigned, certainly believes it is a strong possibility when the current collective bargaining agreement expires in 2021. Just with the way everything has been going, I think, Sabathia said on Friday, per NJ.com. A lot of players not being signed, good players not being signed. Yeah, I mean, I think that's where players are at right now. October 28, 2018, Los Angeles, California, USA. Los Angeles Dodgers shortstop Manny Machado, 8, walks back to the dugout after striking out to the game against the Boston Red Sox in Game 5 of the 2018 World Series at Dodger Stadium. The Boston Red Sox defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers 5-1. Mandatory credit, Gary A. Vasquez, USA Today Sports. Gary A. Vasquez. After a long, exhausting free agency, Manny Machado was officially introduced as a member of the San Diego Padres on Friday. The All-Star infielder was linked to the White Sox, Phillies and Yankees throughout the winter but ultimately settled on the San Diego Padres, which joined the sweepstakes slate with a record 10-year, $300 million deal. Aside from the money, though, Machado also liked the vision that was painted for him by GM A.J. Preller. February 14, 2019, Tampa, Florida, USA, a general view of George M. Steinbrenner Field where the New York Yankees hit batting practice during spring training. Mandatory credit, Kim Klement, USA Today Sports. Kim Klement, MLB pitchers are on the clock. Literally, now. The league announced Friday the deployment of a 20-second pitch clock during all spring training games this year. MLB has yet to declare whether the rule will apply to the regular season, so it's safe to say the use of the clock this spring will serve as a quasi-trial period. New York Yankees first baseman Greg Bird poses for a photo on photo day at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Kim Klement, USA Today Sports. Greg Bird is hopeful he can start the regular season healthy as he looks to win the starting first baseman job he lost to Luke Voit last year. Based on his first 2 at-bats in a simulated game, he feels ready. Bird homered off Masahiro Tanaka and singled off James Paxton on Thursday as he competes for a starting role on New York's 25-man roster. Adam Hunger, John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa, Florida. Clint Frazier admits it's awkward. He wants to let the world know the concussion stuff is behind him, that he's ready to make good on the top prospect hype of a couple of years ago. He just doesn't want to sound like some cocky kid saying he's here to take job from the old man in left field, which is how some of Frazier's early comments this spring could be interpreted without context. Kim Klement. Adam Ottavino was one of the hottest bullpen pieces on the free agent market this offseason, and it was mainly due to one single pitch. Ottavino's signature pitch is his slider that has a ridiculous spin rate, and breaks across the plate like he's throwing a frisbee at his opponent. And his new Yankees teammates got to experience it during a simulated game down in Tampa at the team's spring training facility. The result? Lots of swings and misses. New York Yankees left fielder Brett Gardner gets ready for batting practice during spring training at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Still, USA Today Sports. Brett Gardner, the longest-tenured Yankees player, debuted in 2008 and won a World Series in 2009. Though he and the Yankees haven't won a World Series since, he's optimistic in their chances in 2019. "I think we're better this year than we were in 2018, Gardner told reporters on Thursday morning. "Obviously the season hasn't started. But at this point, I think we've got a better group of guys in place than we've had, maybe than I've ever seen." New York Yankees infielder DJ LeMahieu catches a ball thrown from home plate in a steel drill during spring training workouts at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Reinhold Mate, USA Today Sports. Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter. About me. Archives. The Yankees had a wrench thrown into its roster plans for 2019 when Didi Gregorius underwent Tommy John surgery in October. The decisions made to fill the gap remain puzzling, at least for me, including the signing of infielder DJ LeMahieu. It is not that LeMahieu is a bad player by any means. The 30-year-old is a former batting champion. He hit .348 in 2016 for the Rockies, and one of the best defenders in the game at second base, 3 Gold Glove awards, including 2 straight honors. The perplexing aspect of his signing is that he's filling a utility role, at a hefty price of 2 years, $24 million, which won't maximize his potential production as a second baseman. But still, John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa, betting that Troy Tulowitzki will stay healthy and play at something resembling his old, all-star level probably wouldn't be a wise investment based on his recent history. But, for the moment at least, it's as if the ghost of Derek Jeter is back at shortstop for the Yankees. He famously idolized Jeter, wearing No. 2 for the Rockies and Blue Jays. And to hear others talk about Tulowitzki, he brings some of that same star presence. San Diego might have been a surprise landing spot for Manny Machado, but the Yankees' decision to pass on the 26-year-old should not have been a shock. Yet, there are fans who will have a hard time letting go of the Yankees' choice. The Yankees apparently believe they have their third baseman of the future in soon-to-be 24-year-old Miguel Andujar, who is coming off a second-place finish in the 2018 American League Rookie of the Year balloting. While the point will be made that Andujar will never be the fielder that Machado is at third base, the Yankees youngster doesn't have to be for fans to forget about the newest Padre. But still, one of the reasons Troy Tulowitzki signed with the Yankees, aside from his admiration for Derek Jeter, is that the Yanks were willing to give him a no-trade clause. When he was traded from Colorado to Toronto during the summer of 2015, Tulowitzki was shocked by the deal. Now, with a chance to pick his destination after the Blue Jays released him with 2 years and $38 million remaining on his contract, Tulowitzki wanted to ensure he'd be with the same team in 2019 from start to finish. Mariano Rivera pitched a scoreless ninth inning. AP, former Yankees closer Mariano Rivera, who recently became the first unanimous Hall of Fame selection, is accused in his native Panama of failing to support 2 children outside of his marriage. Rivera, who is married with 3 children, is being asked to appear before Panamanian judicial authorities to answer the accusations, but the 49-year-old spent Tuesday in his native country defending himself through local media outlets, calling the allegations unfounded. "I have always acted as a good family father," he said, according to the Associated Press. October 3, 2018, Los Angeles, California, USA. Los Angeles Dodgers infielder Manny Machado waits for his turn in the batting cage prior to Game 1 of the 2018 NLDS Playoff Baseball Series at Dodger Stadium. Mandatory credit, Robert Hanashiro. USA Today Sports. Robert Hanashiro, if winning is a priority for Manny Machado, one former player does not believe he will experience much of it after inking a 10-year, $300 million contract. Carlos Beltran, who currently serves as a special advisor for the Yankees, said on Tuesday he understood why Machado chose the Padres and signed the most lucrative free agent deal in American sports. Yet the former outfielder said if Machado were older and had done this before, things would have went differently. SNY illustration, John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa. The Manny Machado news broke on Tuesday just as the Yankees were taking the field for their first full squad workout of spring training, and it turns out they weren't lying in the weeds on the Johnny Hustle guy any more than they are going to make a last-minute bid to sign Bryce Harper. It also wasn't so much a surprise at this point as a statement of belief in the team they've built, as well as further proof of how times have changed for this storied franchise. Indeed, the Yankees may have won 100 games last season, but they were no match for the Red Sox in the postseason, leaving them to watch helplessly as their famed rivals won still another World Series, their 4th since breaking the curse of the Bambino in 2004. Yankees media highlights 0 hours 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Clint Frazier speaks about being healthy for Yankees camp and what he had to do to get cleared. Luke Voit speaks on competing at first base. Yankees outfielder Clint Frazier is ready to put 2018 behind him. The 24-year-old sustained 2 concussions last season, the latter forcing him to shut down for the second half of the season as he struggled to find at-bats at the major league level. Yet Frazier said on Tuesday that he is fully healthy now after a long off-season of rehab that included attending concerts and sitting as close as possible to the stage. Judge high expectations for 2019. 0 hours 1 minute and 24 seconds. Aaron Judge addressed the media and talked everything from health, expectations and batting leadoff in 2019. Manny Machado is finally off the free agent market, and with Bryce Harper not on the Yankees' radar, it appears their roster is set for the season barring any out-of-the-blue signings. And Aaron Judge is perfectly fine with that. The Yankees made a few moves this offseason to add to their 100-win team of last year, but there was no big splash like the Giancarlo Stanton trade in 2018. GM Brian Cashman, instead, adding players like James Paxton, Adam Ottavino, and Troy Tulowitzki while re-signing Zach Britton and J.A. Happ as well. August 17, 2018, Seattle, Washington, USA. Los Angeles Dodgers shortstop Manny Machado, 8, tosses his bat after hitting a home run against the Seattle Mariners at Safeco Field. Mandatory credit, Jennifer Buchanan USA Today Sports, Jennifer Buchanan, Chris Carelli, SNY, TV, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, Archives. Once SNY's Andy Martino described the Yankees' feelings about Manny Machado as being lukewarm. Everything about the pursuit, or lack thereof, rang true to those beliefs. The Yankees did not believe Machado was a difference maker at his terms and price, shifted gears and never sniffed near his desires. It's actually easy to debate both sides of the question as to whether the Yankees were right or wrong to pass on Machado. I'll say this, the Yankees might have become better in the short term with Machado aboard, but they will not suffer because he is not. Moreover, failing to sign him will not come back to haunt the club. It's difficult to take the stance that the Yankees would not have become a better team with Machado manning shortstop or third base. However, it's also cringeworthy to suggest that the Yankees are going to pay the consequences for passing on a 10-year, $300 million deal, knowing all too well how these deals can crumble long before they wind down. Los Angeles Dodgers shortstop Manny Machado hits an RBI double during the 9th inning against the Arizona Diamondbacks at Chase Field. Jennifer Stewart USA Today Sports, Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter, Port St. Lucie. In recent days, talk of Manny Machado and the Yankees would not quite die, but that had nothing to do with the team. Right up until the end, when Machado joined the San Diego Padres on the mega deal he had always sought, some in the players' camp were urging him to consider a shorter-term deal with the Yankees. But word all throughout Machado's free agency was that he would chase the highest offer, and that's what ended up happening. Here is the full history of the Yanks' very half-hearted pursuit of Machado. As reported last fall, the team came out of its annual pro scouting meetings lukewarm on the idea of signing him, and all but ruling out pursuing Bryce Harper. Young fan on Machado signing 0 hours 1 minute and 30 seconds. New York Yankees fan Jacob Carpenter reacts to the news of Manny Machado signing a 10-year, $300 million deal with the Padres. After being told Manny Machado had agreed to a huge deal with the Padres, Jacob Carpenter, a young Yankees fan at spring training in Tampa, started screaming his head off about being glad Machado didn't come to the Bronx. This little kid's rant was incredibly impressive. But once he calms down, someone should give him a gentle reminder about the many other A-list stars the Yankees have poached. The Yankees had been in pursuit of free agent 3B/SS Manny Machado, who was reportedly looking for a deal that will pay him roughly $300 million over 10 years. Now, the saga appears over. February 19, 12:27 p.m., Machado has agreed to a deal with the Padres, Jeff Passan of Yahoo reports. The deal is worth $300 million over 10 years, reports MLB.com's Mark Feinson. The deal has an opt-out after the 5th season, reports Tim Brown of Yahoo. September 26, 2018, New York City, New York, USA. New York Mets starting pitcher Jacob deGrom, 48 pitches against the Atlanta Braves during the first inning at Citi Field. Mandatory credit, Brad Penner USA Today Sports. Brad Penner, the Yankees' Luis Severino took a bit of a jab at Mets ace Jacob deGrom on Sunday over deGrom's potential self-imposed innings restriction if he doesn't get an extension by opening day. On Monday, Severino claimed I wasn't saying anything about deGrom's situation after he clearly did just that. On Tuesday, deGrom responded, "Everybody is entitled to their own opinions," deGrom told Matt Ahilt of NJ.com. The business side of the game is why you have agents. They're looking out for my best interest and advising me. New York Yankees outfielder Estevan Florial during the Arizona Fall League All-Star Game at Surprise Stadium, Mark J. Doubles, USA Today Sports. After being ranked No. 2 last year behind Gleyber Torres, outfielder Estevan Florial enters 2019 as the Yankees' #1 prospect, according to the latest top 30 list released by MLB Pipeline. Rounding out the top 5 are RHP Jonathan Loaisiga, RHP Albert Abreu, RHP Davy Garcia and RHP Clark Schmidt. While MLB.com's Jim Callis notes there are swing-and-miss concerns with Florial, his multiple above-average tools put him atop the Yanks farm system. The site gives Florial a 65 grade for running and arm, a 60 for defense and a 55 for power. April 2, 2018, Miami, Florida, USA. Boston Red Sox former player David Ortiz, left, sits next to former New York Yankees Jorge Posada, center, and former New Yankees player and the Miami Marlins chief executive officer Derek Jeter, right, during the second inning of a baseball game between the Boston Red Sox and the Miami Marlins at Marlins Park. Mandatory credit, Steve Mitchell USA Today Sports. Steve Mitchell, there's a simple reason why Jorge Posada's return to a full-time job in baseball at 47 years old is coming with the Marlins and not the Yankees, team for which he played his entire career. The Yankees didn't offer their former catcher a job. There was nothing official. They just wanted me to be a guest coach, Posada told the New York Post. The five-time All-Star and owner of 4 World Series rings said he was not really disappointed. "It is what it is. I'm okay," Posada said. Exclusive Aaron Boone interview. 0 hours 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Yankees manager Aaron Boone sat down with SNY's Andy Martino. They talk everything from changing culture to never-known postseason injuries. Yankees manager Aaron Boone sat down with SNY.TV's Andy Martino on Baseball Night in New York to talk about New York's revamped bullpen, what he expects in his second year as manager and how he hopes his club can win its first World Series since 2009. New York Yankees designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton singles against the Toronto Blue Jays during the third inning at Yankee Stadium. Andy Marlin, USA Today Sports. John Harper, SNY.TV, Twitter, Tampa. On his first day in Yankee camp, Giancarlo Stanton wasn't making any bold predictions or declaring that New York has yet to see him at his best, but he said just enough to make it seem he believes year 2 in pinstripes will be something closer to his NL MVP season of 2017. Which raises an obvious question: is there legitimate reason to believe he's more than a streaky mistake hitter who will always be vulnerable to elite pitching, as it appeared last season? New York Yankees pitcher Luis Severino walks toward the dugout after being relieved during the third inning of a baseball game against the Oakland Athletics in Oakland, California, Wednesday, Sept. 5, 2018. AP photo, Jeff Chu, AP. Luis Severino claims he wasn't specifically discussing Jacob deGrom's situation, despite saying $17 million and, you know, his name. During an interview with SNY on Monday, the Yankees ace was informed that his comments about the National League Cy Young winner were getting a lot of attention. "Nobody has said anything to me about it," he told SNY contributor John Harper. Andy Martino, SNY.TV, Twitter, on October 8, 2018, during the terrible span of 10 minutes or so between a playoff loss and a grilling from reporters, Brian Cashman offered Aaron Boone an out. "You can tell them about Britain," said the GM, whose typical approach is to preemptively reveal stories that are likely to leak anyway. Stanton on Harper and Machado. 0 hours 0 minutes and 30 seconds. Stanton owns the largest contract in baseball. Many thought Harper and Machado would break it this offseason yet still remain unsigned. Giancarlo Stanton owns the largest contract in Major League Baseball, a title many thought would belong to either Bryce Harper or Manny Machado at the start of spring training. The two-star free agent still remain unsigned as of Feb. 18, although Harper is reportedly close, and it is possible the two players still garner contracts that would keep Stanton as the highest-paid player in the league. The Yankees slugger has seen what has transpired this offseason in free agency, and like many he is left confused as to what is going on.